When I think about this place, I mean, I could spend days here because there's so much to see. This is one of the coolest places I've ever seen. You have stuff here that anyone who's grown up with music will have their jaw on the ground. James Jamerson's bass guitar is in this museum. How do you get stuff like that?
I used my kids' inheritance, pretty much so.
Well, it was well worth the expenditure.
Well, I hope they think so.
When the museum started collecting items, was there anything that was the holy grail?
I was a songwriter, and my mentor was Billy Sherrill, who was songwriter of the century for BMI, produced all the big Tammy Wynette, George Jones, Charlie Rich records, so forth. And so Billy would let me hang out in the studio with him, and that's how I got to know the Nashville A-Team players. And there was a guy named Pete Drake who played steel guitar. And Pete, I felt if we got Pete Drake in the museum, he would be the poster child for studio musicians, because Pete played on He Stopped Loving Her Today for George Jones, Stand By Your Man for Tammy Wynette.
One of the things you do in this incredible facility, Joe, is you pay tribute to all the musicians that we've all heard, but many people haven't seen.
Yeah, when we first started, I have to tell you, it was uphill, because a lot of people would come in and they were expecting to see the big singers, and some of them were kind of disappointed, to be honest about it. But now, if you go through, you'll see that we have, Hendrix and Glenn Campbell. But the reason that they're in here is not for being a singer, it's because, like, Glenn Campbell was one of the top session musicians who also happened to be an unbelievable singer.
Phenomenal guitar player that people sometimes didn't even realize about him.
Yes, he played on Strangers in the Night for Frank Sinatra, as well as on so many Beach Boy records.
So how hard is it to get people to let go of those instruments, to put it in a museum that is dedicated to the musicians?
Well, a lot of times, that's the last thing that maybe that family has that may be of value. Like Lightning Chance's bass that you were talking about that was used on Hank Sr.'s last session. I bought the bass, from Lightning. Lightning's son came in and he's in tears, and he's like, a lot of people when they come in here, they see a bass guitar, but that put food on our table and clothes on my back, and it carries a deep meaning more than just being used on a record, to these people. I mean, it's their connection to their loved one, and they want to make sure that it's going to be done in a respectful way, as well.
Well, let's go take a look around.
Right.
What do you say?
Sounds great.
All right. I love that place, and you will too. Be sure and visit the Musicians Hall of Fame when you come to Nashville. And of course, you want to come to Nashville. It's the place you can celebrate the legacy of great American music from every genre there is. And by the way, if you're in town next week, why not attend this year's Musicians Hall of Fame concert and induction ceremony? They're going to be welcoming in greats like Alabama, Don Everly, Felix Cavaliere, the musicians of Muscle Shoals Studio, and many more. Don't visit Nashville unless you plan to go to the Musicians Hall of Fame. You can find out more at musicianshalloffame.com.